Imagine standing in a crowded room dancing to the music of life, but you're not quite sure if you're dancing to your own tune or someone else's. You twirl, you spin, all the while wondering if you're truly expressing yourself or just performing for the crowd. Now, let me tell you something. Life, my friends, is a peculiar dance where we often find ourselves following a rhythm set by society, the rhythm of being nice. But what if I told you that this well-meaning beat might just be leading you astray? I'm Roach, Mark Roach. Welcome to Transcendent, my YouTube channel about a perspective performed from a journey around the world through life, crossing a wide spectrum of human experience, from high to low, as most people in American society define them. This channel is all about inspiring common people to find their power. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong, inherently wrong, with kindness or consideration. These qualities are like the sunshine on a gloomy day, making our world a bit brighter. However, there's a big difference between true kindness and the mask of niceness we often wear. Being the nice guy isn't about genuine goodness. It's like playing a part in a play where you've been cast as the nice one because society's script says that's the role you should play. From childhood, we're told that niceness is the key to success, friendship, and to love. But have you ever stopped to question this belief? Think about it. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How often have you swallowed your true feelings just to keep the peace? How frequently have you put others' needs so far above your own that you've lost sight of what you truly want? This, my friends, is the trap of being the nice guy. It's a subtle form of self-betrayal, a quiet way of erasing your own desires and boundaries. And here's the irony. It doesn't even work. Being nice doesn't guarantee success or love or respect. In fact, it can achieve the opposite. When we prioritize being nice over being authentic, we send a message to the world. My feelings, my opinions, my very self are less important than your comfort. And the world, believe it or not, takes notice. But this isn't about how others perceive us, it's about how we see ourselves. Each time we choose niceness over authenticity, we chip away our own self-respect. We teach ourselves that our true selves aren't worthy of expression. Now you might be thinking, isn't it selfish to put myself first? What if selfishness in its purest form is exactly what we need more of? I'm not talking about the kind that tramples over others, but the radical act of honoring your own existence, of treating yourself with the same consideration you so freely give to others. Consider this. When you're on an airplane, what's the first thing they tell you about the oxygen masks? Put yours on before helping others. There's profound wisdom in this simple instruction. You cannot truly help others if you're suffocating yourself. So how do we break free from this nice guy syndrome? It starts with a simple yet revolutionary act: saying no. Saying no to the things that drain you No to the obligations that don't serve you. No to the relationships that don't respect you. Saying no is an act of self-love in some cases. It's drawing a line in the sand and declaring, this is where I begin and this is where I end. It's recognizing that your time, your energy, your very life force is precious and limited, and choosing to invest these resources wisely. But here's the beautiful paradox. When you start saying no to things that don't align with your true self, you create space to say a wholehearted yes to those that do. You open up possibilities for genuine connections, for work that truly fulfills you, for a life that resonates with your deepest truths. Now I can hear some of you protesting, but won't people dislike me if I stop being nice all the time? Well, perhaps. But ask yourself, do you want to be liked for a persona you've crafted or loved? Do you want to be liked for a persona that you've crafted? Or do you want to be loved for who you truly are? The truth is, when you stop being the nice guy and start being real, you might lose some people from your life, but these are the people who were in love with your mask, not your face. The only ones who truly matter, they'll stick around. In fact, they'll probably breathe a sigh of relief when they finally meet the real you. And here's another secret. People respect authenticity far more than they respect niceness. When you stand firm in your truth, when you honor your own boundaries, when you give others permission to do the same, you create a space of honesty and genuine interaction that's far more valuable than any superficial niceness. This isn't about becoming unkind or inconsiderate. It's about finding a balance between compassion for others and for yourself. It's about recognizing that you too are worthy of your own kindness. Think of it like this. You are the protagonist of your own story. Would you want to read a book where the main character constantly sacrifices their own happiness for others, never stands up for themselves, never pursues their own dreams? That would be a pretty unsatisfying story, wouldn't it? So why are you living that story? It's time to rewrite the script, to step into the role of hero in your own life. Sometimes being the hero means maybe being the villain in someone else's story. It means disappointing people, making choices others might not understand or approve of. But remember, you're not responsible for other people's reactions to your truth. You're only responsible for living it. This journey from nice guy to authentic self isn't easy. It's not a switch you can flip overnight. It's a practice, a daily commitment to honoring your own existence. Start small. Next time someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, pause before automatically saying yes. Check in with yourself. How do you really feel about that request? What would saying yes cost you in terms of time, energy, or peace? If the answer is no, then say no. You don't need to justify it or make an excuse. A simple, I'm sorry, but I can't do that is enough. Remember, no is a complete sentence. And as you practice this, you might feel uncomfortable at first, or you might feel guilty or selfish or afraid of conflict, and that's okay. These feelings are just the growing pains of your emerging authentic self. Feel them. Acknowledge them. But don't let them stop you. Over time, you'll start to notice changes. You'll have more energy because you're not constantly depleting yourself or others. You'll have more time because you're not filling your schedule with obligations you truly don't want. You'll have more genuine connections because you're showing up as your real self. But perhaps the most significant change will be how you feel about yourself. There's an incredible sense of freedom that comes from living authentically. When you're no longer contorting yourself to fit others' expectations, you can finally stretch out into your full self. Now, some might argue, what about compassion? What about helping others? Well, true compassion comes from a place of fullness, not depletion. When you take care of yourself first, you have more to give. Think about yourself as a well. If you're constantly allowing others to draw water from you without replenishing it yourself, you'll eventually run dry. But when you prioritize filling your own well first, you have an abundance to share with others. This is the paradox of self-care. It might seem selfish on the surface, but it's actually the foundation of genuine generosity. When you're coming from a place of authenticity and self-respect, your acts of kindness are no longer about being nice. They're expressions of your true self, freely given because you want to, not because you feel you have to. So, my friends, I challenge you to stop being the nice guy. Stop sacrificing your truth on the altar of others' comfort. Stop dimming your light to make others feel brighter. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Instead, be real, be authentic, be unapologetically yourself. Will it be uncomfortable? Absolutely. Will it ruffle some feathers? Most likely. But remember, comfort is the enemy of growth, and those ruffled feathers are the sound of spreading your wings. In summary of what I mentioned earlier in this video, being nice can lead to self-betrayal by prioritizing others' needs over your own. Authenticity involves saying no to things that don't align with your true self, which in turn allows for a more fulfilling yes to what truly matters. Embracing your authentic self can lead to more genuine relationships and personal fulfillment, even if it means facing initial discomfort or opposition. I'm Mark Roach, wishing you all the best.